everybody, and welcome to the Rugby League Rookies Podcast. That Rugby League Rookies Podcast.
Rugby League Rookies Podcast.
I mean, actually, I can't believe it. I can't believe it at all. Zach LOMAX has now officially signed with the Papua New Guinea Chiefs for 2028, marking his return to Rugby League. Oh my god! Welcome to the Rugby League Rookies Podcast number 16. We can go over everything that happened during the week everything that happened on the weekend for the round of Rugby League, followed by preview for the upcoming round, some tips and that. But I did want to start off and talk about Zach LOMAX, so let's just get straight into this. So this was confirmed 2 days ago for you guys. This was yesterday for me when I was on my way home from a Chelsea training session here in Sydney. Pretty cool thing to go and watch, but I remember I was reading my phone on the way home. I saw this and I nearly started bursting out of tears. I am so disappointed that he is back. I'm sorry. I know he's going to be epic, and this Papua New Guinea team unfortunately looks absolutely stacked, and we'll talk about that next. I just didn't want him to come back, I'm going to be honest. Look, the guy had a really bad kind of breaking up with Parramatta. He played for us for one season, had an alright season. He was obviously a really nice guy. I've met him before, so you know, he's a really, really nice guy. And it was just annoying how he left. He wanted to go to the Storm, but then the whole thing, the contract, and then the R360 stuff. It was a whole bunch of just kind of confusion, I guess. That kind of just ended up with him. He had nowhere else to go. Nowhere in the NRL he could go. He wasn't going to stay at Parramatta anymore unless Parramatta decided to make a trade or someone or some sort of deal for another team. So he went outside, he left Rugby League, and we lost him to Rugby Union, or as the league like to say, Rugby Union. But look, that was an automatic, I guess, disappointment for the sport. I was a bit sad, you know. But I just kind of thought he was done, and I didn't want to see him at any other NRL team unless Parramatta, and I knew if he was going to come back, he was definitely not going to come back to Parramatta. The only teams I'd like to see him at is back on the Dragons or at Parramatta, maybe even Perth. I would not mind. This is no diss to the Papua New Guinea Chiefs, except it's just it's a bit annoying that they have come along, and as they are a new team, they've just signed some of the best players in the league and outside of the league to join the team, which is just a bit annoying because I feel bad for like Perth Bears and Perth Bears fans. I know there's already a few, and just North Sydney Bears fans. They're coming back into the sport, but then they're not even it doesn't look like they are the priority new team, even though they're coming in next year, because they are getting good players, but it's not at the level as what Papua New Guinea is getting. I know there's so much behind it, and I don't want to talk about the political standpoint of that and why they were given the team. It's definitely the reason. It's not the point I want to make. And also, the tax stuff is also another very, very big point of why so many players are going to go there. But except for that, focusing on Rugby League, it's good to have them back in the sport. I just didn't really like the idea of having them back in the sport because it was kind of that rough breakup, and now everything's all magically fine. He's going to join back in 2 years' time, which still feels long, but it's not exactly 2 years' time. It's a bit less than that. But yeah, I have yapped along, so I'm going to read. This is what Papua New Guinea put out on Instagram. When I saw that, I thought it was a meme page for a second, but no, this team doesn't even have a proper logo yet, and they are signing five players already who are absolutely dominant. So the PNG Chiefs are pleased to confirm the signing of Australian Rugby League international Zach LOMAX, who becomes signing number 5 for the club's inaugural NRL season in 2028. LOMAX will join the Chiefs at the conclusion of his current Rugby League contract with the Rugby Union contract with the Western Force, bring him with an outstanding resume built across the NRL and representative football. Okay, blah blah blah. He's just naming the accomplishments. What else? Yeah, look, you look at the comments. These guys are just building what the Avengers. That's what JC said. Stop building the Avengers, which is just so true. These guys, Papua New Guinea, are out of control. They are building super teams. Look, LOMAX is here. Great for him. And they had a announcement and stuff for him. And he came out to a crowd, which was pretty small, but I didn't know the event or what it was for. But while we're on the topic of this wonderful new team who's probably going to win the Premiership in their first year, we got Jerome Luai, who was the topic of last week's video, talking about him, Parramatta. But obviously after that, the big deal was he was the first man to sign with the Papua New Guinea Chiefs. Okay, what else was there? Then number 2, Papua New Guinea legend Alex Johnson, and just Rugby League South's legend Alex Johnson signed to make 2, so 2 big players. Then Connor Watson, he's going to the Dragons next year. Then he's going to Papua New Guinea Chiefs. That's another massive one for the Chiefs. Then they got Matty Lees out of the Super League. He's obviously an England star, so they get that bit of that international game as well. He's very good. And then also now they've got number 5 Zach LOMAX. It's just a bit like they are really just kind of getting anyone they really want. They could go and talk Moses and bring him in. They could bring Cleary in. It looks like they could honestly do anything at the moment. I've already yapped on so much about the Chiefs. But that's why I put them in the thumbnail, because that's how important and how much I wanted to talk about this. Don't even worry about the different location I'm in. It doesn't really matter. But then we're going to swap over from Chiefs to Bears, because the Perth Bears are definitely in a little bit of a talk at the moment with Junior PAULO. It's not completely confirmed yet by the Bears. Look, this is from the Talking Power podcast. This was around 21 hours ago. So PAULO has projected the 1-year extension offered by the Parramatta Eels and reportedly will sign a 2-year deal with the Perth Bears. Massive loss, unfortunately. He's a legend, obviously, for the club. He's definitely a bit old, and I've definitely had some interesting opinions on him throughout the year. But it's always upsetting to see him go when you feel like this guy might stay and retire at Parramatta, but he's going off to Perth, and most likely and looks like we'll do some great things. Heavy conditioning is here, and the comments said, I don't think that highlights a problem at all. He's probably the opposite. We are doing a good job and not overspending on older players past their primes, and I assume Perth Bears for a desperately big deal at him that he cannot refuse, which I'd probably agree with. I feel like nothing related to kind of Parramatta is probably more money and just a new opportunity somewhere else. But like, I'm kind of like speechless, because there's a lot going on in the NRL world at the moment, and there's a lot of things to talk about. But Perth, they look like they're building something there, which looks like alright, but I guess we won't know until next season. They have already signed how many players? I don't know the exact number. But the recent big one, Tyson Smoothie, was 1 hour ago. Oi, that's pretty good. You put drinking a smoothie right now in celebration. This was 1 hour ago. I was just about to click over that because I thought, it's not a big deal. That is 1 hour ago, Tyson Smoothie. I've never really heard of him. He's a premiership winner? I'm sorry, I'm just not in the nicheness, I guess. He's a premiership winner. Oh, it looks like he was at Wakefield, Trinity, Wakefield, Brisbane Hooker to join next season. So it looks like he was at Wakefield. What was his team? I'm seeing Sunshine Coast Falcons. Wakefield Trinity in the Super League. I'm not very on the Super League, so maybe they won. Is a Premiership winner. Sorry, I'm just not on the ball. Oh, he was with... I had no idea. Okay, so the guy was with Broncos last year, so that's when he won his Premiership, and then he left over to Wakefield. And now he's going to be at Bears next year. Okay, good to know. Sorry, I've never heard of him. But, oh well, I guess I'm just not on the ball knowledge then, am I? What I was trying to say, though, was this man, Shibasaki, is an absolute baller who's currently playing in Brisbane. Shibasaki is so good. He's definitely probably the Premiership winning player that most people would have thought. That is pretty cool. I think that's a really nice signing for Perth. When was that? That was 4 days ago, so it is actually still pretty recent news. This is all before would have been after the last episode aired. So they are giving New South Wales Cup guys, looks like, offers and training opportunities, and then there's a lot of different people coming. I'm kind of just scrolling the Perth Bears stuff, kind of looking. Apatwidal was the last big one, I'd say. It's not that big. If you're a Parramatta fan, you'll definitely know him for those moments, but if you're not, then you won't know him at all. But Parramatta and Apatwidal, who was a big guy who unfortunately left us. But yeah, I remember when they were on the run with their first ones, they had Harry Newman, Toby Sexton, Luke Smith, Emali Batungane, and then Liam Henry, Sean Russell was the big one, Josh Curran, Nick Meaney. So they're going to have good quality next year. It's going to be interesting to see. Both teams look, well, let's be honest, Chiefs have 5 players and they already look much better, but still, okay, let's move to the NRL. So obviously he played plenty of times. I'm just like so out of the ball knowledge, I guess. You know what? The best way to figure this out is Tyson Smoothie, and we search him up, and then we go to his NRL profile. If he still has one, he might not have one anymore. NRL stats. There you go. Stats. That's the way. There we go. NRL.com. Tyson Smoothie. I don't trust that. I'm going to be honest. I don't think that's the right one. Here we go. NRL Premiership, Super League. Who was that? Melbourne? 2021 Premiership, Melbourne. I'm learning new things today. And what? Where's Super League? Okay, yeah, okay. So, look, for Wakefield, he had 21 appearances, 4 tries. So, overall 24 points. And then for Brisbane, throughout his 3 seasons, he had 42 appearances, 2 tries. Yeah. So, he had 13 in 2023, 18 in 2024, and 11 in 2025. So, sorry, I wasn't on the ball knowledge, unfortunately. Look, he's a brand new signing, and called him right here. But look, let's just get straight into this, because, you know what, it's what we gotta talk about. We got to talk. Okay, I'm gonna stop scrolling Instagram now, because we got to talk about what happened in the NRL over the weekend. That is the important thing to talk about. So we kicked off on Thursday night to Parramatta at Penrith. I made a whole video on this. Because I'm going a bit over than I thought I was going to be going, go watch that video. That goes into more details, my thoughts on that. Then we go to the Roosters Knights, and we had some banger games on Friday. This was really, really close, and before this, I thought anyone could win it, and that was definitely proven. But the Roosters were just able to get the edge, 23-22. It was actually, though, the quick start from Tedesco, bounced back from the Knights. Knights took the lead, bounced back another Tedesco, so obviously Teddy, he got that hat-trick. Dom Young, then Teddy, and then Billy Smith, Brevin Best, So it all came down to 3 conversions scored each, 1 missed each, and it was that DCE clutch moment getting that point to win them the game. So good job to the Chookies, who are celebrating because they are second, I believe, at the moment, which is good, really big for them. They'll hope to have a good year this year in finals. Then we go to their rivals, their other Sydney rivals, South Sydney Rabbitohs, who had a other banger of a game against the Melbourne Storm. 28-26 was the final score. This was a really back-to-back game, and watching it more later, you could really tell it was like someone scores 2, and just throughout the game, someone scores 2 tries, and they scored two tries back, then 2 tries, 2 tries, blah, blah, blah. I'm messing up my words. Basically, each team would go back and forth of scoring, but they would be scoring in numbers. It was a very, very good start for the Rabbitohs. They scored in the 2nd minute. Then the 7th, they already had 2 tries, but they missed. They only scored 2 out of their 6 conversions. Storm were also pretty rubbish, only 2 out of 5. They also had a penalty goal, and the Storm were actually in the lead going into the second half. But I always backed the Rabbitohs. I knew they were going to be able to win that game, and they definitely proved that. This is not very good for the Storm. It's an interesting thing to know what is going to happen for them, because I feel like their season might be over. But I hope it is. I hope their season's over, but I have no idea. Talking about a team that season is over is the West Tigers. I remember at the start of the year when we were talking about how good they were at the start, and everyone was like, they're going to make finals. They're going to make finals. 4th place, incoming, top 4. They might win the premiership. Well, most of us Tigers fans saying that last bit. But look, we all could agree that they were playing really well at the start of the year. Incredibly shocking. Now they've proved their point back to the normal Tigers we know of. They have been smacked week in and week out by opposition who are not even that good. Like Bulldogs being 32-0. I'm not saying Bulldogs are bad. I know we lost to them. Well, we beat them once, but then we lost to them. But look, the Bulldogs have not had a good season. They've destroyed the Tigers the other week. Now the Raiders, a team who lost to Parramatta as well, just destroyed them 56-10. I remember that iconic night in Leichhardt where it was Tigers, Raiders at the start of the year. Spirits were so high. Now we go to the next game at GIO Stadium between these two. The Raiders smoke them. There was so much support for the Tigers going up. All the Speak Free, what's it called? I've completely forgot. It's something of the Tiger podcast. Let me think. This is bad. It's with Speak Free, Meiji. It's with Meiji and the NRL Fanatic, and I can't remember the name. I'm so dog for that. I really am. Because I should know. Heart of the Jungle. There we go. I don't know. I was thinking Heart of the Tiger. Heart of the Jungle podcast. That finally came to me. Look, basically, all bunch of those guys travelled up. That was good spirit on a bus, and they got absolutely destroyed. And there's all this stuff with Dewey that we can talk about. I'm not in for the controversy, which is actually probably not true after what I said earlier. But look, the Dewey stuff definitely caused problems. But look, the Tigers still going to be good. They got good players there. Luai, bro, obviously just doesn't care about the Tigers anymore, maybe, because he's ready to go off, walk down the road to Parramatta, and get to play with some real team. Actually, we are probably worse than these guys, but at least we're not getting destroyed week in and week out. We do make it close. We should get destroyed, but we make it close. Then we go to the Bulldogs, who are probably one of the biggest shocks of that Saturday night. And Cowboys beating Broncos was not a big shock. Let's be honest. We knew the Cowboys were going to win anyway. But look, Bulldogs 18-6. The Warriors were just kind of kept out of this game, and the Bulldogs' power at a core was just too much for the Wars. The Wars have been a really good scoring team this year. It's really unfortunate for them to be so kind of poor at doing what they do best, scoring against the Bulldogs. So good on the Bulldogs. They will take that as they'll get up and try and get to that 8. I hope they don't. I really hope they don't. But look, obviously something is starting to work over there. Then we go, I should take more like breathers. Anyway, okay, so the next one was between the Cowboys and the Broncos. And as I quickly mentioned before, I don't think it was much of a shock. Cowboys are in good form, and it just kind of made perfect sense for the Cowboys go out, win 18-10. So it was a really close one, but the Broncos are they're kind of all done now, and they are done for the year, I would say, and that is really a really disappointing title defense. That it's an atrocious title defense. Let's be honest. Talking about an atrocious team, on Sunday we had what I call the Spoon Bowl between the Dragons and the Titans. A lot of people were thinking Dragons had this in the bag. It was Guffo's 250 game. I absolutely love my king, Clint Gufferson. Yeah, I don't know why you guys believed in the Dragons. Look, the Dragons have definitely been better since the start of the year. They now have 2 wins. So then that instead where we thought they wouldn't even have a single one. They had the whole drought. Remember that was in the same year. It's been a crazy year, hasn't it? But it's still a very similar Dragons team. The Titans, who are in really, really good form at the moment, they are playing very well. There's some really good wins, including that one against Penrith a few weeks ago. I completely backed the Titans here, to clarify that, and the Titans won this. Actually, easier than I thought it was going to happen. Then we go on to the main event of the weekend. It's always an iconic one when the Manly Seagulls take on the Cronulla Sharks at 4 Pines Park. I believe Laserbeam was there as well. That's how iconic this game is. The Seagulls got absolutely destroyed, and you can say goodnight to Fosball, because Fosball might be dead. I think it's my curse. I made a video about Fosball a few months, or maybe a month ago, and since then they have been one of the worst teams in the comp and have even lost to Parramatta, which is not a good thing for these lot. But look, it was a good win for the Cronulla Sharks. They showed their dominance. They played really well, and the bye was for the Dolphins, who are definitely one of my most favourite entertaining teams. But now it's on for my tips. I'm sitting back, I'm a bit relaxed. Let's get into my tips for the round number 22 of the NRL season. I'm kicking this one off with the Roosters with a less than 12 win over the Cowboys in Townsville. Roosters just got too much to them, while the Cowboys were good against the Broncos. I'm giving this one to the Roosters. I definitely think it'll be close. Dragons, Dolphins. Dragons are going to win now. Okay, this one's going to go Dolphins. I see them scoring maybe 40, 30. I'm saying 30 to 10, something like that. Definitely more than 12 there. Then we got Storm and Bulldogs. Both teams I hate the most, but the Storm are going to win this somehow. They're going to somehow do something magical and they're going to win by less than 12. If not, I don't know. I wish both these teams would lose, honestly. Then we go Titans, Warriors. Warriors had a poor last game. They really got sucked to the Bulldogs. Titans have had good games recently and been playing well. I'm going Titans by less than 12 to get the upset. Then we go to Penrith Raiders. A miracle Mudgee could happen again. Not a chance. I'm joking. This one is going to be a miracle Mudgee, because while Canberra are not in that first place anymore, the Raiders are going to win in Mudgee once again, because Penrith have been pretty dire over the last few weeks and probably should have even lost to Parramatta on last Thursday. Then we go to the Broncos and Knights. Going to be a great game. I'm giving this the Knights less than 12. Sharks Rabbits. Oh, this is an even better game. I am hyped for this game. Even though it's on the same day as one Parramatta play, I don't care. I'm hyped for this one. I'm going to give it to the South... No, joking. Cronulla Sharks are going to win this by less than 12. This could be an absolute banger. All-time game, possibly, on our hands. Then we go to CommBank Stadium. My favourite place to see that the Tigers are now below the Parramatta Eels on the NRL ladder. So, to celebrate that, we're going to beat them by less than 12 at CommBank. Even though it's an away game, I might try and get myself down there because it is a big one and I do want to be there if we do go and beat the Tigers. Those are my tips. Hope you guys agree. But I do want to now go on to the ladder, so I'm going to sit back full because I'm not in my tipping mode. So, obviously, Penrith are on top by 2 points, followed by Roosters, Wars, Sharks, Dolphins, Rabbits, Knights, Cowboys. I really like the top 8. I think this top 8 makes perfect sense at the moment. There's a lot of big teams missing out, including the Bulldogs, who, yes, get in there missing out. Manly, yes, get in there missing out. Raiders, I don't mind the Raiders. So. Storm, yes, you're missing out. Titans, I think we all know this. Broncos, yes, you're missing out. Then we're also missing out as well. But at least we're close with the other guys. And if we can get a win against the Tigers, we can boost ourselves up. 16th place, the West Tigers. I might screenshot this because I know how it can get even better. The Dragons are one of their worst seasons, or maybe all time, are now maybe might just get away with... I'm joking. They're not... The Dragons are guaranteed to get the spoon, I would say. The Tigers are playing so bad that they are the closest team to them after what a great start they had. So, Parramatta's are definitely done for the top 8. I'm saying Raiders, Manly, Bulldogs, the only 3 teams who can remain and get into it. I just don't doubt. I don't think the other teams will be consistent enough. I do want to go back to, what was it, round 1? No, where do we start? Yeah, so after round 1, Tigers 9th. Then 5th place. Then 5th place again, round 3. Round 4, 3rd place. When was the drop-off? Round 5, 2nd place. 2 points behind Penrith. Tied on points with Penrith in round 6. Then 3rd, round 7. 3rd, round 8. 5th, round 9. 6th, round 10. 10th, round 11. 10th, 12. 13th, 10th, 14th, 10th, 15th, 10th, 16th, 10th, 17th, 11th, 18th, 12th, 19th, 13th, 20th, 14th, and 21st, 16th. That is a massive drop off. So it's honestly a bit crazy to me that round 6 they were tied on points with Penrith, and then their highest position was 3rd place. Highest position obviously was 2nd. The last time they were in a high position, was in round 8. Wow, they have fallen very, very far. That might get its own video. I'm getting off with that. Thank you all so much for watching the review show. Hopefully I covered everything. I really wish I was TJC Sports. I'll record that a bit later, honestly, because LOMAX, I would have loved to talk to him about that. Obviously, he's another Parramatta fan, but if not, go check that episode out. It is definitely worth it. It's a really nice episode. It's really fun. It's really interesting, especially if you're a Parramatta fan. I promise you will really enjoy it. So, thank you all. Welcome to the Green Couch. This is not a place where I'm normally going to be recording. I think this is going to be for like one episode, and I'm going to be here, and then hopefully next week I'm in a different place. If not, I guess I'm back down here with the Green Couch, the Xbox, this random chair that my phone's on, and the heater over there. With all that said, I hope you guys have a great one. I'll see you guys in the next one. Subscribe. We're on the road to 1K, and we are 5 away. That is amazing to say. 5 subscribers. 5 of you. Subscribe right now, and we will hit 1,000 subscribers, which is a dream. You know, it's a dream. It's a big moment. So let's calm down. Thank you all. See you.